Weekly news, guys, and we have some massive updates, some massive transfers, which is going to impact the entire Premier League. And we're going to kick it off with Hugo Ekitike, who has just agreed a £79 million deal with Eintracht Frankfurt. According to Sky Sports, Liverpool have reached a full agreement with Frankfurt to sign Hugo Ekitike in a deal worth 79 million, 91 million euros. Liverpool moved for Ekitike after being told by Newcastle that Alexander Isak was not for sale after their initial official approach. Now, this is massive news. Liverpool have got a striker. Maybe not their first striker, but this striker is something that we need to talk about because he could be a game changer for them. What's your initial thoughts on Liverpool closing this deal?
I want to spend a bit of time on this one. I want to take a bit of a deeper dive into Ekitike. So over the past few weeks, we've spoken about Ekitike getting passed around, etc., etc. Here's how I read the situation, Mark, and I want to see what your thoughts are. Let me take you on a short journey. Stick with me. So Liverpool have gone and got him for 80 mil. I want to look at the last 4 seasons of Ekitike.
Okay.
He spent the first 2 of those 4 seasons at PSG, firstly on loan with an option to buy. They bought him, and that second season he flopped. So he was an overall flop at PSG. PSG then sent him out on loan to Frankfurt with the option to buy. They bought him second season, and I think he had a good last 6 to 8 months, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Okay. He was an okay in the season. Now, here's the way I read it, Mark. That Liverpool tragedies have happened at Liverpool and everything else that's going on. They're in the market anyway, with or without Jota, rest in peace, in terms of a number 9 or a forward, right? Because they're looking to shift off Nunes and Diaz might go. So they're in the market. And here's the way I read it. They bid for Isak, right? Was a smokescreen. I don't think they were ever going for Isak. Why? Because I don't think Isak was actually ever for sale. Newcastle made it clear they wouldn't even look at offers below 150. Liverpool got muscles. They flexed him, but I believe it was a smokescreen. And I think what they did that for is to tell Frankfurt, hey, we've got options. Look at us. We've just bid, 120 mil on Isak, knowing full well that Newcastle ain't going to entertain it. And I think Frankfurt have called their bluff. And Liverpool have now ended up over a barrel, in my opinion, and spent 80 mil on a player that is probably on paper worth half. And the reason why I say worth half is he's done nothing of note over his last 4 seasons, bar maybe the last 6 to 8 months. And I think Frankfurt knew, I don't think you can get Isak. I think you're bluffing us. We're going to call your bluff. And they called Liverpool's bluff. And Liverpool have now spent £80 million on Hugo Ekitike. For me, a chap who hasn't done anything, he's young, got potential, unproven talent. Yeah. That's what I think has happened here. What do you think?
I think that I still believe that Liverpool's first choice was Alexander Isak. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was a smoke screen just to agitate Frankfurt to hasting up the process to selling Ekitike. It wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. And that is, club tactics, which are, of course, most tactics used. Even players have their own tactics of getting new contracts and, spreading rumors and getting their agents involved. This sort of stuff does not surprise me at all, and you're probably right. But I do believe, and I'm sure you do, that they want to get Alexander Isak as their first striker. I think even if they put a bid in for 120 million, bro, Isak was purchased for like 60 million, or definitely above 60 million a couple of years ago. And now he's already valued at 150 million. And you know what? That is the correct price. 2 years ago, Isak was nowhere near one of the best strikers in the world. Or whenever Newcastle signed him, they signed him for 60 million. That was a lot of money, and eyebrows were raised. But now that looks like the best piece of business. There's no way. Now he's like one of the best strikers in world football. 120 million in today's market just does not cut it. He is valued at 140, 150 million. I do believe that Isak is Liverpool's first choice striker to be signed. I do think that they wanted to initially test the waters. They knew that it was an incredibly difficult chance to actually sign him. But why not test the waters? Why not, push it a little bit? You never know. Isak may turn around and go, do you know what? I want to win the league. I've proved my point now at Newcastle. I've proved my value. I want to move up and step up. But it's whether Liverpool are actually going to, stump up 150 million, 140 million. They've just spent, close to that on Wirtz. They've been buying a lot of players.
They got the money, Mark. They got the money.
They got the money. They have the money. I think that spend an extra 60, 70 million, get Isak. Right, I think that'll be a good investment. I think it'll be a better investment than spending 79 million on Hugo Ekitike. And by the by, I 100% agree with you with Hugo Ekitike. We've been looking at some of the comments in some of our previous videos where we've mentioned Hugo Ekitike, and they're all saying he's an amazing player, he's sick, and all this. Now, granted, I can't speak for you, but I'm pretty sure that you, along with me, have not seen, the Bundesliga and have seen this guy like. The first time I heard about it was a few months ago when it was the end of the season, and Chelsea were the first people that signed an interest in Hugo Ekitike. Then everyone and their mothers started going, "Oh, we want Hugo Ekitike." But I've seen a lot of his clips, and he is dynamic, he is direct, he can shoot. But his numbers aren't that spectacular, and you're doing it in the Bundesliga. People will say, yeah, it's fairly similar to the Premier League. It's not. No country, no league can compare themselves to the Premier League. It is a different ball game. That's just my opinion. And I'm sure it's the opinion of most football, purists. 879 million for Hugo Ekitike from what I've seen. I agree, man. Maybe like 40, 50, 60 million. That will be a more realistic number, but at the end of the day,
bro,
you need someone. They need a striker. You're not going to get Isak. Newcastle said F you to them, and totally understandable, unless you're going to stump up their asking price of 150, which I think he is worth in today's market. You need to get someone, otherwise, who are you going to get? Well, they could have got Gyökeres. They could have got Sesko for the same amount of money. They could spend, I think, what is it? Rodrigo. He's valued like 80 million pounds, 90 million euros. He's versatile to play up front and the left and the right. They could have gone for him. I think there's other options apart from Hugo Ekitike. Maybe you and I are wrong, but the following season we'll see what we're missing.
I think you're right, though, and this is the thing. Just to be completely clear, of course, Liverpool want Isak, and this is the last point I'll make on Ekitike before we move on. But they want him. Obviously, they want Isak, but I think they thought they've got maybe a 5% chance with that punt. I think the main play for Liverpool there, just to be clear, was to send a message to Frankfurt saying, don't think you've got us bent over a barrel, and don't overcharge us, and don't overprice Ekitike, because look, we can go and get Isak. And Frankfurt have gone, you know what, we'll take our chances. We don't reckon you'll get Isak, and you're going to end up paying us 80 million, because you're right. Ekitike, 40, 50, even 60 maybe. And I think Liverpool had a 95% play was actually to drive the price of Ekitike down to something they think is reasonable, and 5% chance they thought they might get Isak. Of course, they want Isak. But I think they realistically thought we can't get him. Let's send Frankfurt that message, and hopefully that will drive the price down. It didn't work, Liverpool, and you ended up paying 80 million. And I think that is steep. And they know all about paying 80 million for strikers, don't they? Darwin Núñez. Right.
Right, hold on. If you're a Liverpool fan, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Sesko, Ollie Watkins, or Hugo Ekitike? Which one of those would you like to have?
You asking me, or you asking Liverpool fans?
No, I'm asking you. If you're a Liverpool fan.
If I'm a Liverpool fan, Ekitike,
Watkins.
There's a lot of noise, right? They say about Ekitike saying he's the next Isak. It's based on what? Based on what, man? With Sesko, they'd be getting good link-up play. They'd be getting that kind of the Firmino role plus an aerial threat in the box. I think Sesko will do well wherever he goes. But
rapid
they want
well.
that kind of... Yeah, he's rapid, man. So I would probably lean towards Sesko. I just don't know about Ekitike. And Watkins at 29? No, I don't really want Watkins if I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm probably going... There's Wirtz, there's Salah. We want someone who can go up top and bang him in, but also potentially play the Firmino role, and Wirtz can run past him and Salah can go in behind as well. Sesko will give you that. He might not just fit the diminutive type player that Liverpool are looking for because he's tall, but he gives you an aerial threat. He drops back. He links up play well. You've got Salah and Wirtz running past behind, and potentially a left-sided player who might not be Gakpo. We can come on to that. I think if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going Sesko. What about you?
Yeah, I'd go with Sesko as well, I think. I think he'll be a little bit cheaper. But the thing, I'm so curious to see how Hugo Ekitike is going to do, because as you said, there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of people on our podcast commenting going, he is an amazing player, he's this and that. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see what 80 million pounds of raw talent, that's what I consider. I want to see how they do in the Premier League. He could just absolutely flop. I mean, the same can be said about Sesko. We'll see. I'd have Sesko.
Mark, if you're hiring someone, right? And, you and I both hired people. If we're hiring someone and they've got a CV and in the last 4 years they haven't performed and they've jumped from across two different roles and now this is their third role in their end of their fourth year, you'd be a little bit skeptical. That's not to say that they can't come good and they weren't in the wrong environment. But all of that aside, I wouldn't then be putting 80 million punt on it, because that's what Liverpool are doing. Now, Mark, it might work out, but you and I know this is an £80 million punt. 2 years he was at PSG, flopped. Frankfurt hasn't done anything of great note. And now, obviously, the rumours will start and whatever else. And, he's the next Isak. Based on what? The reality of it on paper is he's had 3 different jobs in 4 years. Well, this is his 3rd different job inside 4 years. And he hasn't performed in those 4 years for the majority of those 4 years. That's a fact.
Yeah. Fair enough. Right, moving on. We've actually got a lot to go through. There is additional massive news going around in the transfer news. And we're going to kick it off with Manchester United, right? They're looking at Sporting's Victor Gyökeres and Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson. And Chelsea's Nicolas Jackson looks like it's a much more realistic option. Their representatives have already approached Jackson's representatives and they're currently in talks. What's your thoughts on Manchester United, Nico Jackson and Victor Gyökeres?
I don't think they're getting Victor Gyökeres. I think that's just linked because of Amorim. I think Jackson could end up going there. Chelsea will be happy with that. I don't know if United would be happy with that, but it's probably about his level. He should play for the 15th or 16th best team in the league, and that's what they are based on last season. So I don't know if it's good business for anyone. Jackson's rubbish. I'll always say that. He's rubbish.
I think he's rubbish as well. Bro, shut your mouth. I think that he is trash. Why are so many, Newcastle, Manchester United, Juventus, Saudi, Napoli, they're all so serious about Nico Jackson. But, I watch meticulously.
Are they
They are,
serious?
bro. They are serious, bro. He is a wanted striker. He is in demand. And I've watched all of the Chelsea games, the full 90 minutes, the extra times of last season, the season before. I don't understand what the big fuss is about him. But you know what? If he goes to Manchester United, that would be a good thing for Chelsea and probably a bad thing for Manchester United. So anyways, obviously we're not Man U fans. I hope he pisses off to them in it. So, all right, fine. Right, moving on. Renato Veiga to Atletico Madrid for £40 million from Chelsea. Thoughts?
Send him. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about him. I don't know how good he is. But if you're getting 40 million for a player that's not going to be in your first 11 and he's probably on the fringes of your bench squad, matchday squad, ship him off, right? Or have I got that wrong?
No, in my opinion, no way. Renato Veiga, I highly rate him. The reason they shipped him off halfway through the season, during the January transfer windows, because he wanted to play a centre-back. So he has this issue. He's a little bit stubborn. He's young, though. But in terms of the quality of a player, of him, we need him. He can play left back. He can play centre back. To be honest with you, I would train him as a centre back and put him next to Levi Colwill instead of Chalobah, instead of, Fofana, Wesley Fofana. That's honestly what I would do, because I'm a big fan of him. I mean, if Atletico Madrid secure him for 40 million, I think that they're going to have a good player, a wicked player, and he's young. He's got massive potential. I'll be disappointed. Chelsea should keep him. I'll rate him highly. Anyways, let's see what happens with that. Moving on. Morgan Rogers is heavily rumoured with Chelsea. Chelsea are massive fans of him. Now they're giving him 2 options. They've put a price tag of 80 million. That's cash straight up front. Or it involves a swap deal with Nico Jackson. Another team that's in for Nico Jackson. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea. What's your thoughts, Geezer?
I don't know, mate. I mean, I'm not a huge Morgan Rogers fan, to be honest with you.
No way.
I'm not a huge fan. Well, okay, you tell me. Does he go into your first 11?
No, he doesn't. But
then
he
how
could.
much do you spend on someone that doesn't go into your first 11?
But hold on. He could become a first team player after a few months. He's already Premier League proven. This guy, of everyone that we're going to mention and that we have mentioned so far, I honestly think his potential is so high. He is nowhere near that. I think that if Chelsea secure him, I'll be happy with that. I'll be super happy with that. And we just need to get a goalkeeper. And I reckon we don't really need to get anyone else. That's what I think. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, I would snap that. 80 million is a lot of money, but you are paying Premier League tax. It sounds about the right for someone of his quality. I would take him. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you rate Morgan Rogers, and if you're a Chelsea, yeah, it is. Bro, that's the numbers around for players. This is a day and age that we live in, and it's Premier League tax. Guys, let us know if you're a Chelsea fan, or if you're any other type of fan. Would you like to see Morgan Rogers at your club? Let us know in the comments down below. Moving on, Xavi Simons to Chelsea for 56 million. The Dutch magician. What's your thoughts?
You're being linked to every man and his dog right now. It's that time of year now, isn't it? It's coming up to start of the season. 3 weeks away.
Though. This could happen.
Yeah, this could happen. This potentially does have legs. Again, you know what? If I was a Chelsea fan, here's what I'd want, Mark. I want to go out there and sign Rodrigo. That's what I'd want. I'd want to go out there and get a proven name. I want to go out there and get Donnarumma. I want to go out there and ship off Veiga for 40 million and put that 40 million towards Mark Gahey. That's what I would want to do as a Chelsea fan. And
sounds fair.
Again,
fair.
I'm a gooner, mate. So, like, you look, linked to Simmons. Fair. Yeah, okay. Nice to have. Nice to have. You got your Pedros, you got your Gittinsons. Like, do you need a Simmons? You got your Delaps in. Like, go out there and get a big name. I'm not excited by any of these names that you're linked to. I'll be more excited by Donnarumma, Gahey, and as I said, Rodrigo. That would be the one. But what do you think?
I totally agree with that. With what you just said. I mean, Xavi Simons, good player, intelligent player, can move in multiple positions. But I just don't think that he's someone that Chelsea need at this moment in time. If he comes, I don't see how he'll fit into the first team either. 56 million, I think that's probably worth it in today's age, but I don't want him at Chelsea at this moment in time. I don't think he's good enough to actually improve the squad. Moving on, AC Milan are interested in Manchester United and Denmark striker Rasmus Højlund and are exploring the conditions of a deal for the 22-year-old. AC Milan. Højlund. I mean, you go first before I get into this.
Ship him. I think he's not going to cut it. I do feel sorry for him, man, because I do think United have also let him down a little bit. But fundamentally, he's just not got it to do it in the Premier League. Now, the good thing about him is he's young. He's 21, 22 maybe. I don't know. He might be 22 next season. Go to AC Milan, ply your trade over there in a slightly more forgiving league in terms of time. He could turn into a finisher over there, but I just don't think staying in the Premier League isn't doing him any good. His confidence shot to pieces.
He is.
Look, I'm not a United fan. I'm a gooner, but I do feel for the player because I think as a player, this is not nice and what he's had to go through, and he's getting so much stick.
Yeah.
Take him out the firing line, please. Take him out the firing line. It'll be a good move for him, definitely.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because, like, you brought in a kid who was like 20 years old. You put a £75 million price tag on him. That's what you paid for him. And you've expected him to be your first team striker. And you expect him to carry the team and kick on the team. It's out of order, right? He should have been a backup player, even 75 million. He's a kid and you're coming into the Premier League. We've mentioned it multiple times. It takes time to adapt to this league. And then at night, you stick him up front, right, you better do it. Go ahead and do it. It's just out of order. It makes, honestly, the fact is, Rasmus Højlund has looked so bad at Manchester United. I don't know if he's actually better than that. I'm sure he is, because to stump up 75 million for this kid. But what I've seen him is he looks terrible. I don't even think he's going to be fit enough for like AC Milan or the Italian league. I don't know. From what I've seen, he's like a Sunday league player. That sounds out of order.
Bless him.
No, it sounds out of order. But this is honestly, when I see him, I'm like, you are trash. And I feel sorry for the kid. He's just so out of his depth. Look, guys, we're not being mean. It's honestly what we think. Let us know if you agree with us in the comments. Right, moving on. It's time of the latest club to contact Man City for England winger Jack Grealish, with Everton also keen on a loan deal for 29 million. How are they going to afford 300k a week? Because that's his wages, West Ham and Everton. He is going to have to, like, drop.
Take a pay cut.
He's going to have to take a pay cut. How are they going to? I don't understand that. He'll be a great signing for either West Ham or Everton. He will massively improve both teams. He's reaching the end of his career, but I still think he has a lot to give to the Premier League, whoever he joins. But I don't understand how you're going to pay his wages. What's your thoughts?
Well, his time at City looks like it's done. So, he's not good enough to get into City's 11. He definitely won't be after City's signings. And I just don't think... look, he went to City, he made his money. He's been there, 3 seasons now? 4 seasons, maybe?
Made
so
millions.
One good season. And or one good half season, or
half
one blinding half a season. And I don't think Man City's his level, especially when City go out and they're going to go back to their best potentially next season. So look, if it's a loan deal, it's a loan deal, whatever. Great signing for both West Ham and Everton. I don't think Jack himself will be happy with it, but look, he's made his money while he could. You got to be better, Jack. Otherwise, take a pay cut, my friend. Great signing for both. Just not so much for Jack.
Yeah, it is a shame, isn't it? Well, it's not really a shame. The guy's getting paid for 300k a week. Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah, it's fair enough. Right, moving on. Manchester City have set their price at 35 million for English midfielder James McAtee, 22, with West Ham and Eintracht Frankfurt interested. James McAtee from Manchester City. Thoughts?
If someone's going to pay it, fair play. I think it'd be good for the boy to go and develop, because he's not going to play much of a part in City's next season outside of maybe playing in like EFL Cups and the odd game here and there.
Yeah.
From the bits that I have seen of him, he seems talented, but I just haven't seen enough body of work for him to really comment on the boy. Fair. So I think for him, if he can get a move out somewhere, I'd prefer to go Bundesliga if I was him. So if he can get a move to Frankfurt, I think it'll do really good. It'll do wonders for his development. And let's see if he's going to be an actual player, because he's still young and he can still come back and join the Premier League in the future and actually come back with some clout, which is what he needs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen James McAtee whenever he plays for Manchester City. I've been hugely impressed. He looks like he has massive potential. I think if West Ham get him or Frankfurt, I think they're going to be getting a real asset. If they give him some game time and give him the freedom to play his game, James McAtee can be a major asset. If West Ham get him, that'll be one to look out for next season. Moving on, Real Madrid are happy to wait it out to sign France and Liverpool defender Ibrahima Konate, 26, on a free next summer, but may offer a low bid this transfer window. Konate, you and I are massive fans of him. Going to Real Madrid. Damn.
Groundhog Day, rinse and repeat. They did the same play with Trent. They did offer Liverpool money in January. Yeah. They offered money knowing full well he's coming in the summer. And here's the thing. It seems like Real Madrid have got previous on this. They tap up players. They pick them up on a free. They stay within the rules and regulations. It's Real Madrid, biggest club in the world. They pretty much can do what they want.
That's right.
If this rumour, which does sound like it has legs, if it does have legs, then I think the season after next, we could well be seeing Konate in Real Madrid white. That's my personal opinion. Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, moving on then. So on the same club, Real Madrid are keeping a close eye on Arsenal and France defender William Saliba, 24. So they're obviously in the market upgrading their defence. I think that would be such a big blow for Arsenal if he leaves this window. It will be massive. What's your thoughts on that if he leaves? Bro, I'll be pissed.
I would be, but we just wouldn't let him leave. There's just no way, even if he ends up.
You can't say that. It's Real Madrid. No. It's Real Madrid calling. You just said
Real
it
Madrid
before.
Calling. But he's in contract with us, and I think we just, at this stage in the window, it will just derail all the work that we've done, and Arteta and Berta just won't let it happen. Now, whether or not he goes in the future to Real Madrid next season or whatever else, if Real Madrid come calling, sooner or later they get their man, sooner or later. But I don't think we'll be looking at offers for Saliba. I think we're trying to build something here to finally win something, and it would derail everything, because you lose Saliba this window, you can kiss any title goodbye. See you later. I mean, we're struggling to try and win it with him. To lose him is just not an option, and I think Arteta will shut that down.
It'll be a catastrophe.
Huge.
It'll just
this
be
late in the window as well, just pre-season starting. Nah, it won't.
But you could always get Gahey. You love a bit of Gahey.
I do like Gay, but
He's a good player.
I prefer Saliba. I think I'll keep Saliba.
Fair enough. Big news, yeah. A 9-figure Saudi contract for Brazil and Real Madrid forward Vinicius Junior's 25. That was put on last week, but the most up-to-date news is that that's been taken off the table for now and could be available again in 2026. But bro, we have to mention this. A 9-figure Saudi contract for Brazil. Bro, 9 figures. This is out of my scope, bro. Like, how much is that? Are we talking like $1 billion or 100 million?
It's 100
What
million's
is it?
9 figures.
9 figures. Oh my
100
God.
million's 9 figures.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, they've
Wow.
got the money, and I don't know, if, Vinny Junior. I don't see him as the type of player that would get his head turned by someone like that. I don't see him like someone who's going to sell his career short. He's a proper baller, and he wants to win the biggest honours in the world. And I think he does that by staying at Real Madrid, and obviously Real Madrid aren't short of cash. So it's like one of those nice things to be linked with, I guess, and just, the rumour mill going wild. But, I don't see Vinny Junior's head getting turned for a 9. He's making good money at Real Madrid. But I mean, 100 million plus.
Just for his salary.
That's his salary. That's absolutely mental stuff. But, they got money to burn out there, right?
Yeah, they do. Right, big news. Moving on. This is something you said would never happen, okay? But it looks like Marcus Rashford is on his way to Barcelona. And Barcelona are willing to pay his £325,000 a week salary in a deal which can take the 27-year-old to the Spanish club on an initial season-long loan. So he's going to be linking up with his girlfriend and boyfriend, Yamin Lamau, which was his dream. You said it will never happen, and they're never going to take someone like Marcus Rashford, but this looks like very, very likely to happen. Rashford to Barcelona, geezer. Thoughts?
Yeah, I never thought it would happen in terms of an outright buy, but I didn't consider a loan move. And fair play, if they do get him on loan, yeah, you can see that happening. And I think it'll be a good move because it's a World Cup year next year, right? So you know you're going to get the best of Rashford once every 4 years. My man shows up, doesn't he? So
you bastard.
No, he could honestly,
you hate the guy.
Just facts are facts. He shows up World Cup years, he bangs in 30 goals, and everyone thinks he's world class. And then he goes off and feeds the kids and does whatever else he does. So I would say good. No, look, he's whatever I think of him. I don't like his attitude, but when he shows up, he's unplayable at times. When he shows up,
that's the thing. That's the thing.
If he does show up, and I think he will show up. If it's a season-long loan, I think he'll show up on a season-long loan anyway. And on top of it, like I said, it's a World Cup year. New challenge, fresh start as well for Marcus. I think he'll be reinvigorated again. I think he's going a bit stale at United. I'm not going to put all the blame on Rashford. I think United have got to take some responsibility here and accountability here. They've not given him the best platform to succeed on, really. They're a joke. So, yeah, good move for Rashford. Good move for Barca as well, actually, I think. Season-long loan. Get the best out of him over the course of a season and then reevaluate. Good move all round.
I truly believe, it doesn't apply to every single player, but I do believe the majority of the players, if you have established and proven yourself in the Premier League, if you ship off to one of the other top 5 leagues, I think the likelihood that you're going to go there and tear it up is extremely high. You look at Anthony. Right? You look at all the Chelsea players, the Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who goes off to, AC Milan or whatever, looks like the best player in the world. You got, Christian Pulisic from Chelsea to the Italian league, looks like a world beater. And my whole point is, bro, I think that if Marcus Rashford goes to Barcelona, he knows how to handle the Premier League. I just said it. I think he'll be able to smash it up in any other league. And going to Barcelona, who already established, I think they won the league, they already got cohesion. He goes in there, slots into the left, because he ain't going to go on the right ahead of Lamine Yamal. A fresh start, I think he could easily rip it up. And it would not be a surprise because of that to see him in Tuchel's squad for the World Cup next year. That's my thoughts. We're going to see what happens with that. We'll pay a little bit of attention, extra attention on La Liga and see how he does that.
Bank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Finally, massive news. Colombia and Liverpool winger Luis Diaz, 28, has told the club he wants to leave Bayern Munich because Liverpool are a dead club and he just hates living in Liverpool. I mean, these are not my words. They're like from my notes, which I've got here. I don't know who's wrote in that. It might have been me. I'm not too sure, but he wants to join Bayern Munich. What's your thoughts on that? Big news. This is big news.
It's big news, and also it's got legs. They've definitely at time of recording made one bid, or they may have even made a second bid.
Two.
They've made a second bid. I believe this will probably happen.
He's gone.
And what that might do is then, and by the way, if they get 60 plus mil for him, he's 28, 29.
Exactly,
he's not young. I think a really, really good bit of business from Liverpool, as usual. They typically do get it right, whatever we say about them. They're very, very, very shrewd in the market, and that will pave the way potentially for Rodrigo, which is what we're hearing now is building up a bit of steam.
It is.
That would be insane. Can you imagine Rodrigo, Salah, Ekitike with Wirtz? I mean, maybe even give him the Premier League title. Honestly,
no.
I think, who knows?
No.
I think, Diaz is going to happen. It seems like it's going to happen. But that will mean, I reckon, Liverpool will go out and replace him. If they go and get Rodrigo, Liverpool have had one of those generational transfer windows that, comes around once every 20, 25 years. Yeah, definitely.
And you know what? I rate Luis Diaz, as a lot of other pundits and fans do. I reckon he'll tear it up in Bayern Munich. But as good as he is, and as good as he's been, in getting Rodrigo would be an upgrade. And they sell him for 60 million and top up that 60 million with 20 million, secure Rodrigo. It would officially make them favourites. I'm talking like in the bettings, because they've just won the league. They've upgraded their squad massively, and I think it could be a real game changer. I don't think we can give them the league though, because other teams have strengthened, and as I said, we've talked about already. Manchester City. We want to see how Pep's going to go out with this season, because it could be his last. So I wouldn't put all my money on Liverpool, but oh my days, I might have to if they secure Rodrigo. I mean, guys, what do you think? We've covered a lot of topics here. I'm sure we've said some very controversial stuff. If you do like, our podcast and the way that we deliver the weekly news to you guys, please consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you're aware of every single video that we release. And if you want to see more of our videos, click this video right here so we see you beautiful people for the next one. Appreciate you guys.